in this new era, right, where data plays an increasingly important role, how should people think about using AI to get ahead? Very pragmatically, right? Because we've gone through different eras in terms of a sales tech stack, right? In the beginning of times, there was no tech stack. Then came Salesforce and company. Then came sales intelligence tools. Because not that Salesforce is not intelligent, but I'm just saying sales intelligence, sales optimization, sales productivity. There's a whole stack in the 2010s that came up, no, with a bunch of success stories in which I would categorize Gong, but just the funnel, the sheer size of the tech stack for a bunch of, some of you are here work in tech, some don't, but the tech stack should apply to both, let's call it industries, no, or all industries.
Sure, yeah.
So what's going on now? You know, when you can get lost in this sea of tech tools, and how can you use data to get ahead?
There are two, I think there are two parts to it, right? So the first thing, what AI has been really good for is taking structured data. So basically, now your calls record, that's data that's now been captured. You can apply AI on top of it to actually do a lot of things. For a lot of companies that we see, if you're spending any time discussing what happened, you're going to be behind, because what these AI tools are really good for is summarizing and synthesizing what's already happened. So any conversation you have with, let's say, another coworker, your manager, leader, it's about what to do next. So there's a lot of time savings there, right? Just on the recorded call side. On the other side, I think a good framework is basically, if you think about your day-to-day, if there are a set of things that you do that are, first of all, boring, repetitive, manual, there are probably tools out there that can actually take all that away so you could spend time selling. And selling to me means spending time with the customer. I think that's the most important thing that you should be doing, like kind of really getting to know the customer, understanding their pains, building that relationship. And to me, AI, if we take all the chaos out around it, it's about making you do what you as a human is good at, which is not filling out Salesforce fields. It's not doing research. All these AI tools can do it for you. And I think the really important thing right now is that we're still really early in AI. There's all these tools being spun up that are free because everybody wants to get traction. They're purpose-built, like they're trying to identify like a pain point or persona to work on. So find a way to use these tools, because at some point, some big companies can actually buy up all these tools and it won't be free anymore. So I think it's good to get that advantage now, get really familiar with these tools so that when it does come, you're already way ahead of the game. You already know how to use it in your day-to-day. So that's the biggest thing. I mean, something, I'm not to plug Gong, but I'm saying, but you know, it's something that we really are passionate about. It's like, how do we actually separate what can done by AI versus what humans are uniquely good at, which is connecting with people and actually solving problems for people. So I think taste and curation is a scarce resource. If you develop that for yourself, which is like just lean on being human, I think ultimately at the end of the day, we all buy from each other. We buy from people we like. It's never going to be AI. And I think the wave that I see now more and more is AI assisted selling. And you could change that assisted word to anything. I think it might increasingly more than just assisted. But I've talked to a bunch of companies where, you know, I think when there's a wave of AI trying to replace SDRs, this company was like, no, we're going to make SDRs better. So we're going to actually have a solution that makes it really easy to actually research somebody on a very personal basis. So when you do reach out, it feels very genuine and warm, even though you only spent like 5 minutes on it, right? So I think it's those two things. The short answer is there's a really critical period right now of just becoming really sharp with AI. I honestly believe if you want it bad enough, if you're entrepreneurial enough, there's so many tools out there that you can actually make and have yourself, without maybe like the one tool that will eventually win, you can create for yourself like the ultimate AI powered seller today. There's so many tools out there, and it's on you to kind of experiment and figure out what works for you. But I think the sooner you can understand what AI is strong at for you and what AI is poor at, so you don't do those things, the better you're going to be as a seller. Wait, a quick question. How many people wear like a Aura ring or like a Whoop? Okay, a couple of you guys. Let me ask you, has your sleep gotten any better? Do you sleep better now you look at it? No, not at all? No? Okay, well, some people just tell them how bad you are at sleeping.
Jorge, for example, has like 100%. It's pretty annoying. Yeah.
So I think the general idea is like what can get measured gets improved, right? And with so many more analytics out there now, you can I'll back up for a second. Sales was very boring for me when I thought it was relationship and experience. And it's not that. It's really, if you can break down how you sell into component parts, develop a process around it, find out the parts that you should improve and improve on those, it becomes extremely fun. And I'll give you one quick example. When I first joined Gong, actually before I joined Gong, he said I was a good account manager. I thought I was pretty good, to be honest. And then I went to Gong, and then I did my calls the exact same way as I did at Bloomreach. and the analytics are screaming at me. You talk way too long. You interrupt. You don't ask enough questions. And I was like, whoa, like I thought I was good, but really I wasn't really that good. And there's so many things to improve. And I thought, okay, let me just focus on one metric. And we have this metric called patience. Patience measures how, if we're having a conversation, once he's done speaking, how long do I wait to respond? So really what it's measuring is, am I good at active listening or am I interrupting him? And I was like, let me just focus on improving this. It was like 0.6 at the time in measuring seconds. I got it up to like 0.9 1 second, which actually feels a little unnatural, but like it gets the numbers up, which I cared about. But like within a year, I got promoted because that was the biggest thing that improved literally everything. My talk time went down. My questions went up. Customers talk a lot more. And when you analyze the data for good conversations, especially throughout a very successful deal, they all kind of look the same. They have low talk time. They have a lot of questions by the rep. They have good patience. So like if you think about, that's why I asked the question about the Oura ring. Sleep wasn't measured before. Sales was not measured before. It can be measured now. And if you focus on the things that you know works and get better at those, you will, before you even know it, you become a better seller.